Welcome back. Joining me now is Professor Ramesh Chand. He is the member of Niti Aayog. Professor Chand, appreciate your time. Where is the log jam, sir? Many would argue that if both the government and the BJP are committed to the issue of MSP, why not add a line to the law?
You see, this issue of legalizing MSP has been discussed far long. I, as an expert, would like to say, if legalizing a price offer a solution, then all country would try to do it in the interest of the farmers. So you know that prices are basically determined by demand and supply. Government is required to ensure that farmers get remunerative prices. They do not suffer when there is a glut or something like that. So if you feel that you give legal status and automatically MSP will be insured, that may not actually happen. Now, let me tell you why it may not happen. Now, suppose it is legalized that MSP for maize is 1800 rupees. Now, if demand and supply, as is the situation at present, do not justify that price, and this is the legal price, the trader will not buy the produce at that. So then how you can compel the traders that you buy at 1800 when market price is 1500?
Okay.
In that situation, farmer will suffer much more, that there will be nobody to buy his produce even at 1500 rupees, which is much lower than 1800. So we want farmer to get 1800, but actually when you are making it legal, when you are saying there will be fine and there will be jail, etc., you will see that trade will completely withdraw. They will not buy it at that price.
Okay, Professor Chand, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the MSP. Though the government declares MSPs for crops, but there is no law mandating their implementation. Farmers cannot demand it as a matter of right. Barring sugarcane, none of the other 22 crops have the legal or even statutory backing regarding the MSP. Now that some of the farmers' organizations are demanding making the MSP statutory and legally binding even on the private players, implying that anyone buying below MSP could face the law, can this be done?
I am explaining only that to you, that we can legally fix MSP. Let me take the case which you have mentioned, sugarcane, where MSP is fixed under Essential Commodity Act, FRP, Fair and Remunerative Price. State can also make some addition to it. You look what is the fate of it. The mills, when the sugar prices in the country are low, decline to run the mill to pay FRP or state-advised price to the farmers. The cases have gone into court for large number of years. Matter remained with the under the legal dispute. Even then, you read the ruling of the court, and what happened subsequently? That mills were asked that you start running the mill, start crushing the sugarcane. And if you feel that it is not economical to pay this price to the farmer because sugar price do not justify it, it is the central government which is paying the arrears. And every year you may not be knowing that there are arrears worth thousands of crores of rupees which are paid by the government. And our sugar price at wholesale level is 32 to 33 rupees. And demand in the country is only 26 or 27 million ton. Production is 32 million ton. We are maintaining a buffer stock of 6 million ton. Even by giving subsidy of 10 rupee per kg to sugar, we are not able to export that sugar because international price of sugar is only 23, 24 rupees a kg.
Okay.
So you look at the implication that if through law you impose a price on the market which is not supported by demand side condition, then a heavy burden has to be taken by someone. And if you are leaving it to market, you will find that trader will not buy it. This kind of attempts have been made in the past. I think it was 3 years back that state of Maharashtra said that anybody who will buy soybean and other commodity below MSP there will be legal action taken against that trader.
Okay, so
Trader
Professor Chand,
withdrew from the
basically
market.
you are
Trader
saying
withdrew
that the concept of MSP is the one which has almost outlived its utility long back.
I will not say that. I will not say that. There are ways to give fair and remunerative price. You call it MSP, minimum support price, to the farmers, as is being done in case of rice and wheat for last so many years. Now, last 4 years, it is also expanded to pulses and like that. But if you feel that we will implement it through legal means, then it has very, very serious consequences, which will hurt farmer in the long run.
Okay, many experts, Professor Chand, including Ashok Gulati, feel that there is a gross communication failure on the part of the central government to explain to the farmers what are these laws and how they are intended to benefit them. Do you agree with this assessment?
No, I do not want to comment on that assessment. In fact, I got a letter also from many farmer and also from some farm organization that this is a historical law. We congratulate you, this government. So the perception differs. At some places, the farmer have very well understood this law. But at many other places, this has been, I would say, you can say it that maybe communication was not proper, or maybe farmer leader just interpreted or conveyed to the farmer in a different way. And if that is the case, then I think we should say, let us stop for 1 or 2 months. Let we do communication for next 2 months and then talk after 2 months that when these are fully understood, then we talk about it, that what is the deficiency, whether these are beneficial for them or not. So if I take the assessment of Ashok Gulati, then I would say that then let us address this situation now. Let us say that you take 2-3 months time. And this is what then government say, let us constitute a committee so that both sides can think over it. There is some time. After all, we are doing something which decide fate of farming and farmers for the next 2-3 decades. Laws are not made every day. You know, after how much long we have made these reforms. So one should think about each and every aspect very, very carefully. So even if there is that sort of thing in some part of the country, rather than looking at my judgment that whether they were not communicated or not, if that is the case, then I think we should hold for 2-3 months or maybe 1 month, that let these be understood, and then we just discuss whether they are in the interest.
Last question to you, and this relates to APMC, because many who understand agriculture well also are claiming that this whole agitation is handiwork of big farmers, many of who are also double up as aratyas or middlemen. They say that these aratyas through APMC earn over 2,000 to 3,000 crore annually as commission from government procurement. What's your assessment on that front?
I, as agriculture economist, is strong supporter of APMC. I would like to see that APMC in future exists and they become stronger rather than weak. Let me tell you that in this country, one cap fit kind of solution should not be considered. When you are making a national law, it is for all 29 states, 30 states, union territory, and like that. If you look at situation of our country, just I give you one example. There is so much variation across the states that there are some states where not a single grain of rice and wheat sells below MSP. There are many states where not even 1 grain sells at MSP. So you look at the type of variation. Similarly, there are states where all produce sells through APMC. There are also states where 70-80% of produce does not even come to APMC. When we have this kind of variation, one has to be very, very careful that I should not look at law only from my interest on one point. We need to look at it in a broader perspective.
Okay.
Now let me come to you that how APMC may be affected by new Trading Act. The effect will vary from state to state. It will depend how the states treat APMC. Why APMC will come under threat? That outside APMC, there will not be any charge, but private sector cannot set up mandi under APMC Act. They can at best open their godown, or they have to go to the farmer. They have sent their people, and this is the way that they can go for direct selling and buying. This process may involve little bit cost. It is not that it will be totally free. Second is that APMC mandi, the charges in APMC mandi vary so much from state to state that in 12 states we have no commission prescribed under APMC Act. In then large number of states, the total charges in mandi are less than 2%. If the mandi charges are kept at reasonable level, they correspond to the service that is provided by mandi, I can assure you that there will be no threat to market in those situations.
All
Now,
right.
let me take case of Punjab, and that is very important. In the case of Punjab, there is 3% market fee, there is 3% rural development charges, there is 2.5% commission for commission agent, which as per law, one cannot avoid, one has to give it. Now, Punjab state may have its own reason to generate revenue from APMC. But let me share with you that APMC were not created for generation of revenue. APMC were created to serve as a infrastructure for sale of the produce.
Okay.
So if, and I discussed with many states, the data which I got is, feedback which I got from those states is that half to 1% of value of produce is sufficient to operate mandi, to pay salary of APMC staff, maintain mandi, etc. What is more than that, that goes in other uses. They may be right users, they may be justified users.
All right.
But mandi is not meant to be used as a source of revenue.
Fine enough.
I
Sir.
think if we come to that Punjab has a concern, it is a revenue deficit state. It need to generate revenue. Then
Okay.
we need to work out those sources rather than making mandi as a source of revenue and making mandi uncompetitive with the private channels which
Okay.
are permitted under the new law.
All right.
I feel, and I have written on it, that if Punjab brings down market fees below 1%, which is sufficient to
Okay.
operate the mandi, you can look into the account of APMC, even in Punjab, that how much is spent on operation and maintenance of APMC.
All
Rest
right.
goes in other kind of activities, which may be right kind of activity.
Okay.
So if these charges correspond to the service provided by mandi, for which mandi were created, what was the spirit of the mandi, then there will be absolutely no threat to the mandis.
Thank you
Mandis
so
will
much.
keep operating alongside a private sector,
Yes.
and you will just find that you will have
All right.
two channels. One is a sort of public sector channel.
All right, Professor Chand, thank you